Hi everybody, this is the first of three videos in which I'm going to be presenting the music from my musical Suspicious with an exclamation mark, which premiered in Boston in 1990. Suspicious takes place in the Principality of Bothnia, which is supposedly located in the Alps, although it also has an oceanfront beach. I don't know how that worked out. And as the musical opens, we see a married couple from Great Britain, Cyril and Robin Epplewhite, who are checking into their room in the Grand Hotel in Bothnia. They are revisiting the scene of their honeymoon, and as the musical opens, Fritz is leading Cyril and Robin into their room and explaining about the nation of Bothnia and what's going to be happening to them. Everything seems to be in order. If there's any assistance you might require, just stroke the little carillon of bells hanging outside your door to summon the chambermaid. But remember, the natives of the Principality of Bothnia are a proud and independent people, so the chambermaid will probably not pay any attention. You'll find a publication on the night table describing some of the regulations and customs of our pleasant little country. If you disobey our regulations, you may be subject to a fine or even imprisonment. If you disregard our customs, you'll be lynched. The hotel staff is here to accommodate your wishes. We will do everything within our power to make sure your visit pleases. May I suggest our restaurant, where at this moment are being served our world-famous native wines and dishes, from which you will in turn contract our world-famous native diseases, for which you will in turn be treated by our world-famous apothecary, who will arrange, if necessary, that you be buried in our own world-famous cemetery. We have romantic little byways where east meets west. You'll be impressed. Bandits on the highways, we've got the best. So be our guest. Our agents refuse to work in alleys where robbers lurk. If you can't get to a telephone, you're on your own in our romantic little byways. Those unspoiled nooks, not in the books. Your ways are not my ways. You'll get strange looks from local crooks. If our charming cathedral clock strikes 12 when you're not in bed on our romantic little byways, you'll end up dead. And then Robin says, "It all sounds so wonderful, doesn't it, Cyril? In these romantic little hallways, one's fancy strays to other days. Traveling should always strip off that glaze of modern ways. One sniff of the country air, you know that you're really there. Where men drank beer till they hit the floor in days of yore. They were the dead beyond recall days, but once you're here, those days appear, hardly gone at all days, and still so near. I'm glad that we're staying on for an extra day. I'm longing to lose my way in the romantic little hallways with their romantic little ashtrays and the romantic little byways of this chalet." My high E is not as good as it used to be. Anyway, once Fritz leaves and Cyril and Robin start talking, it is revealed that Robin has brought Cyril to Bothnia with underhanded notions. She's decided she wants to divorce Cyril, basically because he's so boring. But her lawyers have told her that she would be in a better position to do that if she made it look like he was the one who had committed an infidelity. So she has brought him to Bothnia in order to entice him to commit such an infidelity, which she can then bring in as evidence in the divorce trial. Of course, it looks rather unlikely that this is going to happen because Cyril is a very mild-mannered and passive person. But when Robin goes out of the room for a moment, suddenly a mysterious woman comes in, Zelida Archipenko, who is a spy and who has to hide from her enemies. And so she's snuck into the hotel room, sort of like the 39 Steps. And when Robin comes back, she has to explain her presence in the hotel room, of course. So she claims that she and Cyril have been having an affair for years. Now, this works in perfectly with Robin's plans, and she goes into the next room in order to set up a tape recording, which is going to be the evidence of Cyril's infidelity. And in order not to blow Zelida's cover, they have to go ahead and start making love. But before they do that, they sing this song. If I can find it. There it is. When we're faking, making love, I'll offer one declaration before we start. You're under no obligation to yield your heart, but if you improvise, you'll increase your part. When we're faking, making love. When we're faking, making love, the gentle stroke of your finger upon my dress, the way your lips tend to linger, your arms caress, may be a cheap deception, but don't confess. When we're faking, making love, we have good cause to be grateful that love is blind and to ensure that our dreams deceive. Because the dream of love is what remains behind when our lovers leave. When we're faking, making love, though later days may discredit when we've expressed what we believed when we said it, we'll pass the test, for in the circumstances it adds a zest. When we're faking, making love. Cyril's still singing. When we're faking, making love, and my resolve's growing firmer to make you mine, I may not mean what I murmur. To cross that line seems like a fine distinction if you're so fine. When we're faking, making love. When we're faking, making love. Though I suspect I'll be cheated, I'll play the game. A man who's ripe for the taking deserves the same. So if you'll take advantage, I'll take the blame. When we're faking, making love, for we pursue the illusion that brings us joy and take the fraud for the masterpiece. The story's old as Helen and the King of Troy and the golden fleece. When we're faking, making love, for as the scent of their perfume the flowers fade, and time will cast into shadow the love we made, so let's continue playing our sweet charade. When we're faking, making love. Dance interlude. For we pursue the illusion that brings us joy and take the fraud for the masterpiece. The story's old as Helen and the King of Troy and the golden fleece. When we're faking, making love. the scent of their perfume the flowers fade, and time will cast into shadow the love we've made. So let's continue playing our sweet charade when we're making love. Okay. Other scenes intervene, and then we come back to Robin, who has finished her recording of Cyril and Zelida making love. You would think that this would be exactly what she wanted and she would be very happy, but in fact, Cyril and Zelida have been making love with a vigor that Cyril never exhibited in the course of their whole marriage. So she's beginning to think something is going on, and she sings a song about how frustrated and puzzled she is. When I was just a tot, my parents called me Robin because I loved to hop. And ever since that time, my friends have called me Robin. Now it's too late to stop. The Audubon Society calls Robins gentle, but you should pass the word. The Audubon Society is sentimental. You see, one real mean bird. My counsel had advised me to say he had compromised me, but when he did it, he surprised me. This Robin is hoppin' mad. They made love in a fashion that showed unexpected passion, and Cyril's head I like to bash in. This Robin is hoppin' mad. The best years of our marriage contained nothing to compare. Behaving that way at their age is considered a crime. They had such a good time. The air here in the Tyrol must be why he's acting virile. Who would have thought my little Cyril was so good at being bad? This Robin is hoppin' mad, expecting our vacation to give me some information. Instead I got a revelation. This Robin is hoppin' mad. If our bill of divorcement said he knew what intercourse meant, would I have given my endorsement? This Robin is hoppin' mad. I must hide it from mother. I can't tell her how I failed. My insignificant other has become a Don Juan, but it's after I'm gone, so I'm getting quite furious, as well as a little curious. But what is even more injurious, the feeling that I've been had. This Robin is hoppin' mad. Okay. Meanwhile, we find out a little bit more about the whole situation with the spies. You can't have a spy on one side without having a spy on the other, of course. And we begin to meet some of the spies who are the opponents of Zelida Archipenko. One of them is a count, one of the counts of the Principality of Bothnia. And another spy is a chambermaid in the hotel named Gutruna. And the count and Gutruna encounter each other, and the count asks Gutruna how she started out with the ambition to become a spy. And by the way, this song is called Matahari, and I know there's also another song called Matahari in the operetta Little Mary Sunshine, but I think Matahari is an important enough figure in history that she deserves to have at least 2 songs written about her. And this is the second one. When I was young, I had a maiden aunt who fed my adolescent ears with anecdotes about the flaming youth of a legend of bygone years, and the adventures that had laid the ground for her imperishable fame. I guess you're tired of my hinting around, so I'll tell you the person's name. Mata Hari. I want to be like you. Be my mentor and tell me what to do to be a first-class secret agent when other secret agents were flabbergasted. You always lasted. You blasted off investigating cases. You kept them on their toes. You found the telltale traces that mystified your foes. You got the information where many others have tried. Only if someone ever calls me another Mata Hari, will I be satisfied? And then the Count sings his heart, Mata Hari, they must have broke the mold when they made you back in the age of gold. You were a first-class bogus Hindu. You did what girls who sin do. You were alluring when you were touring, luring your prey when you began your dancing in those exotic scenes. You made it so entrancing that men would spill the beans. You made the Secret Service more like the Folie Bergère. These days could not compare with those days, the days of Mata Hari. I wish that I'd been there. And then a dance interlude, complete with breaks for tap dancing. She always did her duty because her mind was keen. Not only brains and beauty, but all that's in between. I mean, Gertruna, if I were in a pickle, I'd simply give her a call. Both when she was going on safari, she always got her quarry. I'll always be so sorry that I'm not Mata Hari, the greatest spy of all. To be continued.